Hi, welcome to How We Met. I'm Sheryl Strich, and every month I get to interview two couples who tell their story about how they met. Today's episode, we have very interesting couples. One has been in a long-term marriage, and the other are newlyweds. We're going to start with the long-term marriage. Welcome, Victor and Eileen Ettinger. Eileen's on the National Council of Jewish Women Board and also on the Reform Temple Education Committee. She takes a biography class and she creates amazing masks. They're both members of the Reform Temple of Laguna Woods Village. Victor is vice president of the Temple Endowment Fund. He's a member of the Guys of Leisure Luncheon Group, the Men's Afternoon Discussion Group, the Great Decisions Discussion Group, and takes several Saddleback College online classes. Welcome. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you for having us.
I always ask 3 questions. And the first question is, I guess I didn't tell you about this beforehand, is where are you from?
I'm from Brooklyn, New York.
Okay.
And I'm from Queens.
Oh, and you're from Queens. So
I tried never to go to Brooklyn.
This is like a mixed marriage.
I moved to Queens when I was 10.
Oh, okay. All right. All right. Okay, so, all right, so it's not such a mixed marriage. Okay.
No, not at all.
How long have you been a couple?
A couple is 61 years, and we will have been married in July of this year for 60.
So I wasn't wrong when I said it was a long-term marriage.
Long term.
Okay, and how long have you been in Laguna Woods?
Since 2016.
Okay, all right. Now, let's get started. How did you meet?
It all began, for me at least, when I was in my freshman year of medical school. I went back to my college for homecoming, and I had an automobile accident, and as a consequence, the insurance company gave me the money back, and I took it and bought a car in Europe and traveled around Europe, and periodically I would go to places that I had learned about in college. And I went to a place called Ravenna, Italy, to see the Byzantine mosaics, because that's what I had learned about in art history. And I heard some people speaking English, 2 young men, 2 young women. The young men took off, and I went to speak to the young women. And Eileen and I went inside to the church, and we found out that we lived 15 minutes away from each other in New York City.
Wow.
And I had traveled the year before to Israel and worked on a kibbutz for a year. And I wanted to go back to Israel that summer and then go to Europe, which is what I did. But I was thinking about it last night, how I traveled by myself for 2 months. It's just remarkable. I would never do that now.
When we're young,
yes,
we do a lot of things that we wouldn't do now because we're
right.
smarter
And,
now.
So I flew to Italy, took a boat. Took a boat to Israel, came back, and then traveled through Italy.
Right.
And I met a young woman at a hostel named Harriet, who wanted to see the Byzantine mosaics. I had studied them, but I'd forgotten about them. But we went and wound up sitting next to him at the church, waiting, I think, for a service to be over, and it all started.
So your mother must have been so happy. Here you're traveling around all over the place, and you came home with a husband.
Right.
A doctor husband.
Wait. So I have a question for you. Did you take a leave from medical school after this accident?
No, it was surprising because they don't do that anymore. But I had a summer vacation between freshman year and sophomore year.
Okay.
And that's when I had the accident and took the car to Europe.
Oh, how convenient.
Oh, yeah. Very. There's a Jewish word, besher.
Yeah.
It was meant to be.
It was meant to be.
Okay, so you met in the Byzantine chapel, and then what happened? Then you had this travel person, and you were by yourself.
He had a car.
And you had a car. Oh, and you had a car.
And Harriet and Eileen were going to Venice. And so I said, instead of taking your rail train, come with me.
Oh my God.
Right.
And
right.
we drove up to a beach on the Adriatic, and Eileen went swimming, and she had a bun on top of her head, and she took the bun down because it was wet, and it was down below her rear end, and I immediately fell in love with her hair.
That's all.
So we spent the next day, the three of us, in Venice. Harriet took off for Spain. And then the two of us went to Vienna and spent 3 days together. I had a tent, and so we spent the time together in my tent, and she took off for Spain, and I took off for Germany.
Okay, and then did you meet up again in Europe?
We made up to meet again in Paris.
And you still had the car?
I still had the car.
So
It was interesting, though. We took a trip to Versailles, and I wanted to take a picture with her camera because it was better than mine, and she didn't want to.
I didn't want to waste the film. I had very little film left.
So we took a picture with my junky little brownie, and that night when I came back, my car was broken into because it was a what was it? Anyway, it had a cloth roof.
Oh,
and they slit the roof.
It was a convertible.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. And
So we have no picture of our encounter.
Oh, it was your camera that was stolen.
Yeah.
Yes.
Eileen.
What can I say?
And fortunately, somebody found my passport and my tickets for the plane to come back home.
Did you bring the car back?
Yeah.
Oh, so the car was brought back to the United. It was an American car?
It was it was French.
Oh, French. Oh, okay. So and then you went back to medical school, and
I was teaching.
And you were teaching.
I was teaching in Manhattan.
Okay.
And he was going to medical school in Manhattan. And I had a car, he didn't. So he took my car, and he would pick me up and take me to Manhattan to my school, and then he would go to his school.
Okay.
And we spent most of the time every day together after getting back in the States.
So did you go back to your parents, and you had
Yes.
your own? You both.
I was living with my parents.
And you were
too.
living with your parents while you were going to medical school. How interesting. Okay, and then it took a year later.
I proposed to her. We met in August of '64. I proposed to her in September. In December, she finally said yes, and we got married July 4th, '65.
How nice.
Yes.
How wonderful.
Yes.
And when was your first daughter or son?
Our first daughter. We have two daughters and a son.
Right.
And our first daughter was born in 1968. Our second daughter in 1971, and our son in 1975. So he is going to be 50 this month.
Okay. Wow. Did you stay in New York after you got married?
Yes, because he had to finish medical school.
Okay.
And what did we do after that? You have to help me with that.
After that, we actually lived in a place called Shrub Oak, which is northern Westchester County.
Okay.
And I would travel down to, that was when I did my residency in internal medicine. In between, I was in the Navy for 2 years.
Oh my, okay.
And I was stationed in Quantico, Virginia, at the Marine base.
Where you went with him?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
And were you teaching also?
No, I wasn't teaching. But I think I started doing my artwork around that time.
Okay.
And which I've carried around with me all the years.
I'm just curious, do you have a studio in your home, or are you using the art studio here?
I have a back porch, which I converted half of it to a studio for myself.
I know people who've done that. It's very convenient.
It is.
Very
and
nice.
And we have open windows, and I look out and see the birds and the squirrels.
And she's not doing ceramics anymore.
No.
So she doesn't need the kiln. We had a kiln. We just actually gave it away to a neighbor.
Oh, boy. Okay.
And now she does paper weaving.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
I didn't send you a picture of that.
You didn't only the masks.
Only the
But the
masks.
mask is going to show up. The masks are going to show
yes.
up.
The masks were my outlet to let out my anger and my fear after 9/11.
Oh, okay. Now, you guys were out of New York at that point.
We
No.
were
Around 9/11.
we were in
Oh, yeah,
California.
no.
We were in California.
We were in
and
California. We
then-
came to California in 1972.
Okay.
And we were in Bakersfield
Okay.
in 2001 when
Well, yeah.
9/11.
they are not happy faces.
They didn't, yeah,
They're not happy faces,
Right.
but that's what came out.
Right.
That's what. I'm glad I had that outlet.
right. Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
So what brought you to Laguna Woods?
Retirement. I was in Bakersfield, as I said, for 19 years, and Bakersfield and Fresno in the Central Valley has the worst pollution in the country.
Right.
And my lungs were beginning to get significantly affected. And I was tired anyway, trying to work with the medical system, with insurers, with the government, with pharmacy benefit managers. It wasn't any fun anymore.
Right.
So I came down and continued doing my telemedicine until 21, as I said.
Right.
And then I just totally retired.
Which
But we
is-
came down here to retire.
Which is very nice.
Well, Laguna Woods is a wonderful place to live.
Don't you find you're busier now than ever?
Yes, yes.
Oh, I certainly am.
Right.
He's much more.
I was a loner prior to coming here, and now
He's a joiner.
in so many groups, it's just incredible.
Right. Right. I know.
I've become a social person.
Are your kids surprised at how you've turned around? How busy you are?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, yeah. I think Eileen is more surprised than my kids. But
My kids want me to babysit at times, and I just don't have time for that.
Oh,
how many shows do you do?
How many shows I do? One show a month. And then I interview two couples. And the show is on twice a week for a month.
But you said that you also do the Trading Post.
I do the Trading Post once a month. And yeah, and I'm on Debbie Dotson's show. I give the dumb, I'm the dumb sidekick on her show, on Tech Talk.
great.
She does technology, Debbie.
Right, right.
She's
Yeah.
very smart.
Well, anyway, this is really very, very interesting. Is there anything else you want to tell me before we have to wrap it up? Because we just got the 2-minute warning.
well, I just have to repeat that I love Laguna Woods.
And I'm really happy you're here because I see what you're doing for the temple, and it's really nice.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, I'm enjoying myself too. I'm living a life that I never anticipated.
Right. I think we all are. So it's really special to be here.
I'll say one more thing.
One more thing,
Growing up
sorry.
in New York City,
Right.
with all the concrete, I love the greenery
Right.
of Laguna Woods.
Right.
It's wonderful.
Right. It really is peaceful. I do like that. I do like it a lot.
Yes.
Anyway, thank you so much for coming on. This was really fun.
Thank you for inviting us.
Thank you.
If you'd like to come on to the show, email us at lwvcouples@gmail.com. Include your name, phone number, and email address, and brief description of your story.